Hey guys, it's Jackie, your reluctant housewife, here to help you find your inner domestic goddess without losing your inner feminist. And today, we're gonna make a Valentine's Day treat that's a classic red velvet cake. Okay, so it's Valentine's Day again. It comes every year. Maybe you're prepared this year, maybe you're not. Maybe you're like, I'm spending it alone. Maybe there's a special somebody. Doesn't matter, it's the day that we can just express love, feel love, and also feel better sometimes. If you are on either side of the spectrum, you can make this cake. It's red, it's white, it's Valentine's Day colors. It's the perfect cake for Valentine's. So first, let's get our dry ingredients together. We're gonna do 2 cups of regular flour. So I just picked up some classic, because this is the classic cake, Hershey's Cocoa. It is unsweetened. It says it's natural, so that's cool. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons of that. Okay, and this recipe calls for baking powder and baking soda because it really has lots of interesting elements going on to make it rise. So 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Make sure to get all those little rocks all nice and softened out in there. Yeah, that seems good. Great! And as you can see, I keep my baking soda in a really janky little Ziploc bag because, you know, why not? I should probably get some nice little jar and put it in there, but I can't be bothered with getting a jar for my baking powder soda. And we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of salt. This is our dry ingredients. We're just going to whisk these together. Oh gosh, it really smells so chocolatey and yummy already. Put that to the side. We're gonna do our wet ingredients next. Okay, we're gonna do 2 cups of sugar. And this is kind of interesting. Normally I use softened butter, but this recipe calls for vegetable oil or canola oil, which is very not in my wheelhouse typically for cake. Unless it's like a box cake, I'm kind of like, you want to use oil? Okay. The butter is an oil, it's a fat, so I think this will just be kind of fun to just play with and try something new. For all you baking nerds out there, woo, this is your moment. Okay. I'd also like to just give a little shout out to my girlfriend Heather Kronk, who gave me this beautiful Anthropologie apron for my birthday like last year. Just want to let you know that I'm wearing it and it feels like a dress. Like I didn't have to get dressed up today. I just wore a tank top and jeans, and this makes my outfit, so thanks, Heather. We're gonna do 1 cup of vegetable oil. Plop that in there. We're just gonna do 2 eggs. Plop those in. Next, we're gonna add some buttermilk, because a southern red velvet cake doesn't get any more southern than when you add buttermilk. So we're gonna do 1 cup of good old-fashioned buttermilk. Oh, lovely. Ooh. It's so creamy, but it tastes gross though. All right, last but very much not least, we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. There we go. Okay, now let's mix this together. And then it would not be a red velvet cake if it didn't have white distilled vinegar. Now this, for whatever reason, is the most important part of making this cake. So it's very important that you don't forget it. Baking is a science, so it's all combusting together and making us our Valentine's Day cake. Go grab, as in me, I'm going to go grab my dry ingredients and we're gonna start combining them. Okay, so I like to go in thirds, and if you watch the show, then you know this about me. I like thirds. So here's our first. Okay, so we're just going to mix this together, and also with your cakes, you don't want to over mix. You just want to make sure that they combine, that everything is nice and dissolved and mixed. You don't want to get them, it depends on the cake, but generally speaking, don't over mix your cake. It makes them flat and heavy, and a lot of my first baking cakes were very heavy cakes. There's so many parts to this. Okay, so I forgot to put my coffee in. You do that with the vinegar. We're gonna do a 1/2 cup of plain coffee. Just stick that in there. I know this is really not how it's supposed to go. And because it's my first time, we're gonna do our red velvet, or our red food coloring. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add my last 1/4 of my dry ingredients. Woo! All right, and then I'm gonna back up. There we go. Now it's starting to look like a red velvet cake instead of just a chocolate cake. Yes. Ooh, that is blood red. That is some scary Valentine's Day in like a horror movie kind of way sort of look. But it's gonna be awesome with our white cream cheese frosting that's coming up next. Okay, this cake matches my blender. I barely want to move it, but it is a bright, beautiful, beautiful red. I mean, look, it's like a murder just happened. All right, let's go grab our greased up pans and pour this out evenly and get them in the oven and start eating sooner. Great, this is fun. I have never done this. I'm really enjoying all of this right now. This is just really, really fun. Perfect. Now, I just did that because there are air bubbles that always are in your cake batter. So if you just go, they come to the top, you'll even see them. It just helps keep your cake from having those air bubbles when you bite into it. You're like, that's paper. It's just pretty presentation. Okay, so we've got our cakes ready. We're gonna put those in the oven at 325 for 30 minutes. They go from about 30 to 40 minutes. You wanna take them out when you put a toothpick in and some crumbs come out. So it's still the M word for those of you who can't take hearing what the M word is. And it's very luxurious and fluffy and slightly still wet M word. You know what I'm trying to say. Okay, so now we're gonna make our cream cheese frosting. I personally like a more kind of smooth, like thinner cream cheese frosting, something that feels kind of like it would go like that if you touched it instead of a thicker, chalkier, sugary kind, if you catch my drift. So you can control that with how much sugar you put in. So we'll just kind of go by, you know, feel, but to start, we're gonna do a half cup of softened butter and one 8-ounce package of cream cheese. Take your butter and simply plop it down. Then we're gonna add our cream cheese. And what we wanna do first is blend this all together so it's ready to go. And then we're going to sift. It's very slippery. Ow. It's a little wet from trying to cool. We're going to sift our powdered sugar inside. So, okay, let's do this. Next, we're gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla. It's got a teaspoon right there. Let's mix that together. Then we're gonna add 3 cups of powdered sugar. So I'm gonna start with our first cup, which is about that much. Okay, cool. So let's start with that. Let's mix that together. And then I'm just gonna scrape from the sides to make sure we get all of that pretty powdered sugar. And let's get that a little bit smoother on a higher power. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. Oh, that's gonna be gorgeous on our cake. Okay, so our cakes are done. They're very cool. I actually had to put them in the freezer to completely cool down because they were really still running warm. So keep that in mind when you are doing your frosting, because you do not want to let your frosting melt, because that would be bad. So we're just going to take our frosting and swirl it on top. Let's put that aside. Let's grab our other cake. And I do have some problems usually getting my cakes out. The first one was a little messy. I usually go around the side to make sure all of it's kind of broken off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it down like this and really spank the crap out of that cake. There it goes. Okay, great. This is a messy cake, I am not gonna lie. Very gently flip it over and lay it very gently on my first layer. Okay, so we have our pretty cake. Now I'm just gonna put some frosting all over it. This is like ridiculous. Like, I'm not even supposed to be eating this right now. Yay! Red velvet cake from scratch, Southern style, official. This thing is gonna be so gone in like 2 days. It's gonna be devoured. I don't care how many calories there are. I don't care, just don't care. It's Valentine's Day and it's time to love yourself. So love yourself with some red velvet cake. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I'm Jackie, your reluctant housewife, here to help you find your inner domestic goddess without losing your inner feminist. Catch me at yourreluctanthousewife.com on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest under Your Reluctant Housewife or just Reluctant Housewife. Put them in both because they both exist. Say hey, leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time, guys.